Ooh, wee. Damn, that timer counts down fast. I'm in the middle of drinking water. I should have planned that out a little better. This podcast is officially sponsored by nobody. Never has, probably never will be, but unofficially, we are sponsored by BioSteel sports drink. Drink BioSteel, not sugar. And the reason why I went with that unofficial sponsor is because the Chicago Blackhawks' new draft pick, Connor Bedard, just got sponsored by that. So I'm trying to follow his footsteps, even though he is 17, just turned 18. I believe he's 18 years old. So there's that realization. What's up, everyone? Hope everyone's having a good day. What day is this? Today's Tuesday. Week flyby, man. Week flyby. This is going to be a long episode. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to my buddy Luke. He's getting married in September, and there's a bachelor party that we're planning. It's going to be in the Illinois area, plural, 2 of them. And he told me that the podcast for the last couple episodes have been sounding faint. Not me personally, like I'm going to faint, but just the audio sounds a little lower than usual. So I'm putting my face right up into that mic as if I was at a strip club, and I'm trying to put a $2 bill in a stripper's undergarments, her panties. So hopefully that sounds better. Me and my friend, she's a professor. She goes by the name of Bach. I mentioned her a couple days ago when we were talking about chest feeding. She's also a specialist in sleeping. So we got to this conversation. She's like the producer. She has all these good topics. And the topic was, like, why does school start so early? Like, dude, when you're a growing body and you have to wake up at 6 a.m., that can't be good. When you're like 13, 14, 15, and you have to wake up at 6 a.m., dude, you don't want to go to sleep until like 3 a.m. You know, so I contribute, like, that waking up for school did more damage to me than the drugs that I may or may not have taken during that era of time, or falling down the stairs when I was a baby. Y'all should know that if you listen to the podcast. I was like 6 months old, had a big tumble. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, and Humpty Dumpty broke his fucking shell. That was me. Some people like myself, you know, we need our sleep. I know Professor Bach needs her sleep. So when we have to wake up that early, like, I'm speaking for me personally, I think I hold the appearance of like a raccoon that just dragged in a possum that was high on whiteout or spray paint, and just pale, disheveled, just high as shit. That's what you get from me. And now you want to teach me algebra at 7:10 in the morning? I'm trying to, like, realize that I'm a human being in a body. Okay? I'm trying to, like, understand if I pissed myself. Like, is my boxers on correctly? Am I even wearing pants? Is there a poo stain on this pants? Because I grabbed it from the dirty hamper. You know? I didn't do the smell test because I have to wake up so goddamn early. And it's just, why? Why so early, man? I just don't understand it. You know, you don't think that I would love to spend an extra couple of hours in my bed? So let's take this scenario, okay? I'm 13 years old, all right? I went snooping through my daddy's the mirror cabinet that has all the medicine in it, right? I just so happened to see something called Viagra or Cialis. Cialis about my erection. And you know what? I pop one of those, and then I take one of my brother's Adderall. Okay? We started this journey at 11 p.m. because I'm 13 years old, and that's like prime time. That's like prime time hours, 11 p.m. Just pop those 2, and now I have the internet on my laptop. Didn't have much of a phone back then at the beginning of high school, so I'm on a laptop. And if you've ever taken Adderall and surfed some porn, the unholy, the unregistered pages of the dark net, like you're going back pages, the deep crevices. You want to talk about ADD, ladies and gentlemen? You will keep clicking and clicking and clicking, pretty much trying to make the mouse or the cursor ejac before you even make yourself ejac. You're just clicking because nothing satisfies you. Next thing you know, 8 hours blows by, and if we started at 11 p.m., you have to wake up at 6 a.m. for school. There's an implication there, right? Because you were just surfing the web for a good 8 hours. Okay, and now you have homework due in your first period class with Mr. Johnson, ironically, that started at 7 a.m., so you're fully torqued. You have to put your erection in your waistband. And you're fully torqued, and you go to hand him your homework, and the excuse you come up with is, sorry, Mr. Johnson, my dog ejaculated on my homework. I mean, my dog ate my homework, because your brains are just scrambled. Your dog didn't ejac, but that's all that's on your mind is sex, especially after popping a Viagra and an Adderall. I think that's the main reason why school should start later. So these youths can, get this demonry out of their system, this jester juice, as I like to call it, because it makes you act like a clown when it keeps it in there. And there is such thing that we're finding out now, if you don't watch Instagram or on the social media, that there is something called post-nut clarity. I'm not going to go into it, but I will say it does exist. Once you pop the one out of your little B-sack, you have instant clarity. And God forbid that you are on a dark web back page website with ladies of the night. Because there's a realization there. And you're just looking at yourself, you're looking down at yourself, you're looking at your hands, and you're just like, oh, God, what have you done? What have you done? What am I watching? What am I watching? And, every night there's a realization of how much of a sicko I am. So I have to fight those demons constantly. And I know I'm not alone in that fight, but some of y'all be playing and pretending. And we don't appreciate liars on this show. So moving forward, because I feel like we did a good job in covering that topic. School should start later. That's what I have to say. Like, that's my submission for why school should start later, and I think it holds weight. I think it holds water. If I was brought into a court of law, that's what I would use, and I'm pretty sure I would get the majority vote. Yes, school should start later so these goddamn kids don't have to hide their erections in their waistband. Okay, moving forward. Do you guys remember there used to be a website that probably still is a website of the people of Walmart? They like look trashy as hell. They dress like mismatched and bellies hanging out. I find it funny that has become the style of the average American, while I'm here looking like an asshole wearing a fish shirt. I think I would fit right in. And that was unintentional. So I don't even know if I should continue on this topic, because I really do look like an asshole right now. But we have men and women's clothing. Everyone has a goddamn mullet and a pedo mustache. There's body positivity now, where you have like these overweight gorillas wearing nothing more than Band-Aids on their nipples and their purses, their clams, if you have that, if you want to call it that. So allegedly, Walmart has the last laugh, because our society has become a living, breathing freak show. Just everyone's out there in their Walmart wardrobe. So I just kind of found that funny. Maybe you don't. I do. I have a good sense of humor. There's a lot of topics I want to cover today because this is the last solo episode. I've said that about 9 times now, so it's probably not. But we do have a guest coming on Thursday, official. He was supposed to come on, I believe, last Thursday, and I dropped the ball on that. That was my fault. I had plans. No, he was supposed to come in on Saturday, and I dropped the ball. I apologize. We rescheduled. He will be on Thursday night, hoping to get that podcast released Friday morning. And we'll get more into that at the end of this episode. But I just wanted to let you know that this could possibly be the last solo episode of season 7. I'll do more in season 8. So there's a lot of shit I want to get off my chest here. Like, why do we get tickets for not wearing a seatbelt? Am I really doing harm to someone else if I'm not wearing a seatbelt? Isn't that my responsibility? Like, if I get into a car accident, that's on, like, me. I suppose if I'm going to stay in my chair, get, like, ejected from the driver's seat if I'm not wearing a seatbelt. So but why am I getting a ticket? Shouldn't that be my discretion? It's not changing the way I drive. I'm not under the influence of anything. So why should a cop be able to pull me over saying, hey, man, you're not wearing a seatbelt. Here's a $200 ticket. Here's me trying to save your life by putting you in more debt. Hope I helped you. Hope I saved you. Because you don't get a warning for that shit. I never get a warning. That's always a full-blown ticket. They don't like me because I look like a vampire. I got those blue eyes and that pale skin. And I think they sense some kind of dynamic entity inside of me. And they think they can kill that off by obviously giving me a ticket. And they do every single time. But that's not helping me out, man. That's making it worse. That's making me not want to wear a seatbelt. That's making me want to take off my seatbelt and, like, stand up while I'm driving and get into a car accident and fly through my window. Because now I got to think about $200 that I got to pay to the Illinois court system, which is probably going directly into BJ Pritzker's stomach, or whatever his name is. Mr. Pritzker. Don't even know his first name. JB Pritzker. We share the same initials. I got to change my name. Just wondering, man, why am I getting a ticket for not wearing a seatbelt? If you have the answer to that, maybe I'm just like overlooking this, but I don't think I should be ticketed for that. Hit up the email, thecuriositychamber@gmail.com. Hit up my cell phone. Hit me up on TikTok, Instagram, whatever. You know where to find me. I have been getting a lot of comments on TikTok, mostly TikTok. And whenever I post these controversial topics, like chest feeding, my goodness, they come out of the woodworks, dude. They come out of the woodworks. And it's wild to see people backing their position on that are straight women that are protecting that. To me, I thought that type of class or that individual would be the most outraged, because being able to breastfeed is like such a gift. Is such a gift. You can naturally, like, you don't have to do anything. Once you get pregnant, like, your body knows. It just knows. The body is such a fucking amazing thing. It just knows that you need to start producing milk so you can keep a child alive. And I thought I was going to get, backed by that type of person, the straight females. Or, yeah, mostly the straight females. And no, man, they were protecting guys that want to be girls that want to also breastfeed their child. They got really, really nasty, really livid. You can go check out the comments on TikTok, the Curiosity Chamber, if you want to be entertained. I entertained some of those comments, but after a while, I just had to to stop because everything that I was posting wasn't a good source or like just false without any kind of reiteration or like any kind of defense. It was just you're wrong, and just a lot of name calling, and that was that. So I don't know. TikTok is I'm figuring out as I go along that each platform, it's so funny, man, has like its own generation of people. I feel like most of the boomers are on YouTube because I don't get a lot of comments on there. I just get a lot of likes and a lot of views. TikTok is mostly like the young generation. I would say anywhere from like 10 to maybe like 23. I would say, and I don't even know what your generation is called. I don't even know. Generation LGBTQ positive. I'm insulted by everything. And then what's the other one? Instagram. That's the one I have the most following, most likes, most positive interaction, and I think that's because that's mostly millennials and a little bit older, slightly older. So around my age. It's wild though. There's like a vast difference if you're on them enough and do enough posts to see comments from each social media platform. There's a distinct difference, and it's hilarious. It's so funny. Yeah. So, which leads me to my next topic, right? How come it's offensive if I call myself mentally retarded, or if I even just use the word retarded? I'll get burned at the stake. Like, it's a real thing, man. There's a real condition, like retardation, mental retardation. It's real. You can't say it's not, because it is. It's like, it's science, bitch. And at the same time, I'm expected to use a person's preferred pronouns, even if they are biologically not factual. And TikTok's about to shit their pants if I post this clip to them, which I probably will, just to see what they say and how they try to back this up. Because dude, if I have to call your pronouns, if you're making me live your reality and I have to use the words you want me to, it's a two-way street, baby. It's a two-way street. I'm going to use the words that I want to use. I'm going to use the word mentally retarded. Sometimes I feel mentally retarded. Sometimes people act mentally retarded. There's a retardation going on in your skull. And that's real shit, baby. Going out with a bang, ladies and gentlemen. Going out with a bang here. It's the curiosity chamber, dude. It's the curiosity chamber. I'm just curious. I have a lot of questions. There's a lot of everyone wants it to be black and white. No gray area. There's a lot of gray area. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered and resolved, but are not, because people just want to shut this shit down. That's like the best method of an argument for some. Is just going where it hurts. Going to where, like, you can just shut someone down. Like, oh, you're white. You have white privilege. Shut the fuck up. Don't speak on this topic. Like, how much of that do we see? I'm not the racist one. I don't do racist shit. So why are you involving me in that conversation? Because you just want to shut me down because sometimes I'm speaking facts. And it's the quickest way. Like, if you don't have a counter to something that might hurt your narrative or what you believe in, your ideologies, you go straight up to the offensive thing. Okay, how do I shut this person up as fast as possible? Or how do I redirect the conversation or argument? and it's usually by insult. And there's a lot of that going on. There needs to be freedom of speech. Like, just let everything out, and then, hopefully, if we all acted like adults, we can sift through the bullshit and come to an answer. But instead we would just rather, play these two parties, which is wild. How could you possibly think there's only two parties? We're a human being. We're the most complex species. Look around you, man. Look what the fuck we've built. And you're going to tell me there's only two parties. Get out of my face. That is low level thinking. Go take a hit of LSD. Go eat some mushrooms. Leave the planet for a second, telling me that we just live in a two-party world. Shut up. No, we don't. No, we don't. Don't get indoctrinated, people. Just don't. Live your life how you would want other people to treat you. I mean, that's the easiest way to do it. Treat people how you want to be treated. That's the easiest way and the most basic way. You don't want people to be mean to you, so why in God's name would you be mean to other people? And sometimes you have to show empathy. You have to understand that some people don't understand, or they can't, figure out how to manage their emotions because they were never showed how. Not everyone is brought up the same exact way. So some people have a very hard time letting things go, right? They just harbor onto these rages and these emotions. And, it's the responsibility of the other party to try and realize that. Okay. And then show some empathy. Man, maybe this person's having a real rough day, had a rough week. I don't know what they're going through. All right, let's try to diffuse this. And just do everything you can. Like, if they're yapping at you and barking at you, just try your best to use kindness for like the first couple minutes. Like, what harm does that do? What does that do to you? If you try to use like a nice, soft, subtle voice, try to explain something to someone that's outraged, and just, I understand. I can see why you're angry. I can see why you feel that way. I'm sorry. But let's look at the facts here. Let's try to work through this. Like, how does that affect you if you're trying to be empathetic try it for 3 minutes to an outrageous person? And if that doesn't work, then just walk away. Because then that person like clearly has some work to do on themselves. If you can't diffuse it after a couple minutes, that person has some work to do on themselves. And I mean, that's all it takes, dude. 3 minutes out of like something that could spiral out of control if you have a short temper as well. Because someone's being nasty to you, like a Karen, and then you have this this snap temper, and you snap at the drop of a hat. And now you guys are both barking. And that gets us nowhere. Could turn violent. And I think we have to try to avoid that at all costs. So I challenge you to try and use kindness if someone is being nasty to you. For like the first 3 minutes, man, just try to use kindness. Try to bring down the tension. Try and show some empathy. Try and understand where they're coming from, and see what that does. Compliment them on, I understand you're mad. That's a nice necklace. I like that shirt. Cool shoes. All right. I didn't mean any of that shit. Like, throw in a compliment and then be like, I'm sorry. You're right. See where that goes. Bet you it'll make you feel better too, man. I bet you it will. There's one more thing I wanted to talk about. Schizophrenia. Right? I'm curious about this one as well, because schizophrenia is hearing voices in your head, correct? I believe. I should probably look up the definition, but I'm going off of past knowledge, I believe. Now, what I'm curious and what I'm wondering is, is it schizophrenia only if the voices in your head are like cruel and unusual or mean, dissatisfying, like along those characteristics? Or or can it be that it's schizophrenia if you hear like God speaking to you? You know, there's just like a blurred line for me, and I'm really trying to understand this. I'm really curious because when someone tells me, or if I hear that someone heard a voice and they say it's God, like the line is so blurred to me. I'm like, well, why isn't that schizophrenia? You're hearing a third party voice in your head telling you to do things, but just because it's I don't know. In most cases, it's good, I guess. It's not schizophrenia because it's good. You're still hearing a voice. What if so once God tells you to, I don't know, man, go kill a whale or something because whales are eating lots of fish and fish could be a life source for food. I don't know, dude. I'm just making shit up. Would that be schizophrenia because it's kind of like making you cause harm? But it's God talking, you know? So there's just a blurred line there that I want someone to kind of elaborate where schizophrenia like starts and ends. You know, because if you're hearing a third party voice, I don't care who it is. Isn't that schizophrenia? I'm just confused, and I want to know the truth on that. Curiosity chamber, baby. That's what we do here. But yeah, that's gonna be it. So next, no, this Thursday in a couple days here, we have a guest coming on. His name is Nelson Tressler, and I'll give you a little bit of a summary of him. Um, Murder, rape, and abuse is just the start of his story. His mom had him when she was 15 years old. When she was pregnant, her father shot 2 police officers. His mom testified at his grandpa's murder trial that the reason that her father shot the police officer was because he had raped her and she was pregnant with Nelson Tressler. And he's the author of The Unlucky Sperm Club. And yeah, we're going to dive into that story and see where that leads us. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of perspective. This is going to be an awesome conversation. Happening Thursday night. Hoping to get that episode out to you guys on Friday morning so you can listen to that. Hopefully it makes your weekend a little bit better. Get some perspective. Understand that maybe your life might not be as tough as you think it is. And sometimes that's nice to hear from another person who has gone through these trials and tribulations and horror stories. You know, and he came out on the other side successful. So it's an amazing story, and I'm excited to talk to Nelson here on Thursday. Everyone else, I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and we'll see you on the next podcast. Peace out, everyone. Bye-bye. Welcome to the Curiosity Chamber.